Okay, this topic interests me because I know Mikeneko only from name. I never knew she was a VTuber. I heard one of her songs like long time ago. So when I heard Mikeneko, I was like, oh yes, that reminds me of a song I did hear before. But she's a VTuber. Okay, how this deranged VTuber became known as the Amber Heard of Japan?
Yeah, you read the title right. Mikeneko is the VTuber at the heart of this incident, or I should say scandal. Some fans were quick to give her the nickname the Amber Heard of Japan. And I mean, what an honor it is to be nicknamed after...
No, it would be funnier if they called her the Amber Turd because of the, you know, the poop allegation.
Someone who literally shat in their husband's bed and abused them emotionally for years. I'm so jealous, really. Look, this situation was so profound that it shook the Japanese internet like an earthquake. Okay, maybe that wasn't the best analogy. What I really meant to say is that this literally nuked the Japanese internet.
No, not again.
Okay, you get the point, all right? This had a massive impact in Japan. This involves a secret marriage, psychological abuse for 2 years straight, and creating
A secret marriage.
alt accounts online just to trash talk the other person behind their backs. Unfortunately, these are only a few things that happened in this incident. So what exactly occurred between Mikeneko and Mafu Mafu? And why is it by far one of the biggest scandals in VTubing history? Well, get ready. This is a roller coaster. Let's do this. Guys, this video is not sponsored. If you like that, subscribe. Also, from this point onwards, I'm a full-time content creator. Thanks to every single one of you. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Back to the video.
No, the dream. My next goal is to become a full-time content creator.
Now, there were many things that led up to the huge revelation of this incident. But before we get to that, you need some important context. You see, when you're a celebrity in Asia, in particular Japan and South Korea, it is taboo for you to be in any sort of romantic relationship. Fans will feel betrayed if they see you being romantic with someone, if they see you dating someone. And there are music labels, most namely the biggest corporations, that will literally put a clause in the contract saying you're not allowed to have a partner for the duration of this agreement. This article right here is an example. 2 K-pop stars from 2 different groups were caught together in Paris. And that was enough to turn the internet upside down.
Yeah, I do remember this drama.
With a lot of hate being sent to both of them. It's that ridiculous. But this isn't just limited to K-pop stars and VTubers and idols. No, there was also a case of a fucking weather lady in Japan called Saya Hiyama.
I also saw this one.
Who was caught in Wimbledon arriving with a tennis player. There was controversy, there was outrage over her being in a relationship. This is a weather lady, bro. A weather
Yeah, any form of public figure in Asia, you should stay like single.
lady. She's not a star, a singer, or an actor. She just tells you about the weather. But she's famous across Japan. And that's enough. She's a celebrity. She had to apologize publicly about this. You understand the significance of relationships when you're famous? You're essentially trapped in a relationship with your audience. And if you quote unquote cheat on them by actually being in a relationship with a human, you get torn to pieces. That's how it works there. And it's definitely a culture shock to someone coming from the West, for example. Because the Swifties are as insane as the K-pop stans, but if Taylor Swift's in a relationship, they encourage them until they break up. Then they, well, the guy doesn't end up too happy. Let's just say that, okay? It's very rough to say the least. Now, I'm sure you can see where we're going with this, but it's way more complicated than that. This scandal involves Mikeneko and Mafu Mafu. And before you say anything, this is him. It's a Spotify picture, okay? This is a real human. Just to have...
He looked like an android or something. I'm nothing against him, but this don't look human.
Filtered picture. Now, in the case of Mikeneko, she has had 2 other personas under 2 different corporations. But she has always been Mikeneko when she's indie, when she's not under a corporation. She was at Vishojo as Amiyama Nazuna, and before that, her real breakthrough in the industry, and what most people know her as, is...
Oh no. Oh no. I know. Uruha Russia. She's very deranged.
Uruha
Very fucked
Russia
up.
under Hololive. Now look, at the time she was one of, if not the biggest VTuber in
We did react to something about Russia. She was like really deranged mentally.
Japan. And again, Japanese market is where most of the money is for VTubing, so this is a very big deal. In fact, before moving on from Hololive, she had accrued a total revenue of $3.2 million just from super chats. Okay, this is insane. And I can't even
So the ad revenue is not a part of the 3.2 million.
imagine. 3.2 million just from donations is insane to me. That's just how big she was at the time. Now, even though she's Mikeneko today, this entire scandal can be traced back to when she was Rusia on a collab stream where she was playing GTA 5. And on that day, if she had just...
Wait, okay, if I remember, she will have a Discord message of that guy popping out while she was streaming, if I remember.
remembered to turn off her Discord notifications, man, I think we'd be living in a different timeline, okay? I think we'd be living in a different universe because it had that much of a profound impact. Around early February 2022, she was streaming. You can see her right here, collabing, and all of a sudden, on the top left, you see a Discord notification pop up from Mafu, pretty much saying, I just finished streaming, I'm getting ready to go home. Now, the interesting thing
Wait, he is a streamer and a singer.
here is that it can be interpreted in two different ways, saying either I'm going to my home versus our home, right? And people didn't know what to think. What didn't help is that in a previous stream, she had leaked her Discord DMs and he was right there, prompting people to all of a sudden start asking questions. Who the hell is this guy and how dare you betray me? I'm gonna be your future boyfriend. Well, Mafu is an extremely popular utaite. I don't know if that's the way to spell it. This means that he's a singer, but he only covers already existing songs.
Oh,
this
okay.
genre is huge in Japan, and you can easily be at the same level or even surpass famous groups or bands. I mean, he has 2 million on Twitter and 3.4 million on YouTube. He is huge by his own right. Now, the main issue here with just seeing these DMs, okay? Nothing concrete has happened yet, but the main issue is this. Mafu and Rusia are two absolute opposites of each other.
The way he spoke to her probably can be interpreted as a normal friend talking to his friend. Because sometimes, for example, when I see some Shoko notification, like she would send me from nowhere, oh, I'm coming for that ass.
Rusia is a GFE VTuber, and Mafu is a BFE singer. What does that mean? Initially a sex worker term that made it into the entertainment sphere for some reason. GFE means girlfriend experience, and BFE means boyfriend experience. Best way to sum this up is the content creator will specifically target a demographic of the opposite gender and kind of bait them into thinking they have a chance with them. So if you were one of the top contributors of that 3.2 million Rusia was getting in super chats, she was messaging you on Discord. She was making you feel special as if she was your girlfriend, making you think, oh, I have a chance with this chick. As Rusia, she's also sold merch titled Couples Mugs and lifelong engagement ring. Okay, she knows exactly what she's doing. Now, Mafu does participate in this, just not as much as Rusia does. It just so happens that a huge demographic of his are women, and they fantasize about him like K-pop stans do about, well, K-pop groups. Being a GFE or a BFE content creator is most likely a conscious decision you're making, knowing how much money you can make. But these two communities were not really made to coexist, because pitting a GFE community versus a BFE community is literally World War III. Like, it's over. Yes. My man had to apologize on the same day. Bear in mind, he just DM'd her, okay? He had to apologize on the
He have 5.7 thousand answers.
Same day, saying, regarding this matter, I sincerely apologize for causing so much misunderstanding due to my careless actions. I become good friends with the people I'm playing games with, and when I contacted them last night to try playing games, I ended up making a lot of people feel uncomfortable. He's referring to the message he sent Rusia. There is no evidence that they are living together. This is badly translated. I think he means that there's no evidence proving that he lives with Rusia. And then he ends it by saying, really sorry. The equivalent of an apology like this, where he's like, I sincerely apologize. I'm really sorry. This happens usually like
Why did someone post this picture? What the fuck?
in the West, when someone does something really bad. Like, guys, I just started a crypto scam. It didn't work. I'm really sorry. I sincerely apologize, right? This guy just messaged her, okay? These are the communities we're dealing with right here. He knows his community very well, and the fact that he did this means that he knows exactly what would happen if he doesn't kneel before them with the utmost remorse. Because unfortunately for him and Rusia, this wasn't the first time allegations like this came about. To really push the idea of how crazy their communities are, here's an example of what happened in 2018 between these two. They've been friends since 2018, and at that point, fans started noticing similarities between Pictures posted on their accounts of different furniture.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. If you live together, don't take picture of the house. There is always some crazy people that will see every pixel.
And appliances. Rushia would sometimes post pictures, and Mafu Mafu would stream with facecam on, so yeah. Man, this is what I call weaponized
Oh, look at this, look at this. Even the glass. Holy shit.
autism, because what the f is this? Images posted on both their accounts separately being like, yo, this is kind of the same mug, isn't it? Even with the plushies couldn't be left out of this. So even in 2018, Mafu Mafu had to come out and apologize, saying sorry for the inconvenience, but I learned about the situation from a friend's phone call. It seems that some people are saying that Mafu Mafu may be dating the streamer Mikeneko based on the matching of tableware and stuffed animals, but there's no such fact. I'm truly sorry for causing trouble to others due to baseless facts. He then continues, we use tableware that we have received from our customers over the years of our live performances and events. I've tweeted about the Shiba Inu stuffed animal, but I got it at a game center with a male friend. I'm really sorry for bothering everyone. Sorry for the late night. Sorry. I'm really sorry. I sincerely apologize. It's like, dude, chill, man. Like, if only some criminals held half his remorse, we'd be a better society. But this just shows you how rabid the communities are. Mafu Mafu is practically in a relationship with this community, and he cannot in any way cheat on them. So is Rushia, because it wasn't just Mafu Mafu defending himself from the Discord message fiasco. Rushia was also doing the same thing after this message had leaked, but she did it in one of the worst ways possible. She contacted a drama tuber, so imagine someone getting into an issue in the West and the first person they contact is Keemstar. Why the hell would you do that? And she just started yapping about how this isn't real, how everything's fine, whatever.
Wait, isn't that drama will probably prove that she was lying or something? Or was it in another case?
And in the process, started ranting about things she doesn't like at Hololive, including coworkers, the staff, etc., which resulted in her leaking some pretty sensitive information. This is what happens when you talk about a sensitive issue and don't consult with a legal team first. She ended up being terminated, and that in itself was a huge scandal in the VTuber community, especially in Japan. Now, of course, she feigned ignorance. She was like, sorry guys, it was just an innocent mistake. Of course, Hololive didn't want to terminate her. I mean, she was making millions off Super Chat, but she had leaked sensitive info, and you just don't do that. But that was that, because shortly afterwards, she went on to become Nazuna under the Vshoujo Corporation. She then went through graduation. I love that.
She make a lot of issues.
That word at the end of 2023, only to finally come back to her original persona, Mikeneko. It seemed like things were going okay, you know. Mikeneko was gonna voice act in an anime in a lead role, I should say. Mafu Mafu was doing fine, I guess, you know. Things just moved on. People didn't really mention this stuff anymore. Until the Japanese equivalent of TMZ, a weekly tabloid by the name of Josei 7, published an article that broke the internet. This happened on January 26th of this year, 2024. It talked about how Mafu Mafu and Mikeneko not only were married, okay, during the time that Discord message leaked, but they also
That's why they had the same mug and the same furniture. Holy.
divorced. That's two by
Imagine people reading, they're like, oh my god, they pause. They are married and they go cry and everything. And they're like, oh my god. Then they come back and they read they are divorced and they go cry again. Then they're like, wait, no, I still have my chance then.
shells in one. The fact that they were married and the fact that they're speedrunning any percent to divorce. Now that you understand how crazy both their fan bases are, yeah, you can imagine the online shitstorm. The Japanese internet was like a... Let's just skip the analogy this time. I mean, look, please listen. Listen, brace. This is really loud, but this clip is insane. This clip right here went viral, right? Like it became a meme. This is a Mikeneko fan absolutely having a breakdown over the fact that she was married and not with him, feeling extremely betrayed.
Losing his shit.
just a normal fan, you know, just a very normal human being. This is like when it was leaked that Amaranth had a husband. And I remember like one of her top donator mods messaged her and said, I feel betrayed. I cannot support you anymore. It's like, what do you mean, bro? You think she was gonna marry you? Yes. The answer is yes. They actually thought she was going to, okay? This is what you call a gachikai. Someone who is not just a fan of an idol or an artist or a content creator, but in love with them, hoping to one day be with them, all right? These are the kinds of fans we're dealing with here. Now, of course, after this bombshell of an
my waifu, yes.
article, the first thing that happened was Mafu responding. And as you can see, this is a news article coming straight from Japan talking about this. He wrote a huge blog post that went over everything from the marriage to the divorce on his website. He linked it in this
so he did confirm it.
tweet right here, and as the article's title mentioned, it ignited a firestorm. As you can see, it's quite extensive. There's a lot to take in here, but thankfully, the community has some really good translators that went through the trouble of translating this entire thing. Okay guys, listen, this is gonna be a roller coaster, all right? The first thing he says about this relationship is this: I really had serious feelings for my partner. And he refers to this partner as A-san, or Miss A, but we all know this is Mikeneko, confirmed later. Around spring 2021, I talked about not being able to fall in love in magazine interviews, and I realized I was unable to hold any romantic feelings for people, which was why I gave up on love and marriage. It was during that time that I met Mikeneko, and they
I feel him somehow.
conveyed that they liked me, even with all my flaws and faults. My views on love might have been different from the general perspective of romance, but I thought that it would have been really good if we could live together, supporting each other. I received a lot of opposition from my friends and acquaintances, but I ignored all the negative remarks and decided to officially be in a relationship with her, followed by marriage. There was no confusion that this was how sincere my feelings were towards Mikeneko. So early on here, we see that he might be suffering from self-esteem issues, which makes him unfortunately easily manipulated. And that his friends and acquaintances did go through the trouble of warning him, probably recounting how recently he was saying he can't fall in love, and now he's not only in a relationship, but considering to marry someone in such a short period of time. Not a very normal and rational thing to do. So in this paragraph, he says that he wanted to announce his marriage many times, but Mikeneko being an online personality, she and her management team preferred not to. He then says, when I was withering away in such an
Management team. It means when she was with Hololive. So Hololive did know about it.
environment, Mikeneko was with me. At that time, when I would object to trivial matters, she would verbally attack me. Countless days where I would cry and apologize continued, which made me think in the end everything is just all my fault, and my days turned so dark, it was so dark, it was as if I couldn't see. So this is textbook abuse. He's being blamed for everything. He already had low self-esteem, now it's even lower. Mikeneko is pretty much taking full advantage of him. Back then, I was so blinded that I wasn't sure if this was normal or not. In order not to make Mikeneko displeased, all of my behaviors were to ensure she wouldn't be angry. Now listen to this. This is one of the craziest things in this.
He have the opposite of my way of thinking. Like, he can suffer in order to not make someone angry. I'm in the opposite place on the spectrum. I'm like the fuck it guy. If I don't want it, go fuck yourself.
Entire statement. I would be in front of my PC every day with Line and Discord opened and would reply to all messages immediately. In a day, we would have hundreds of messages exchanged between the both of us. But even then, she would still suspect that I was cheating on her. That's insane! She would keep me online on the Discord 24/7
Oh, she's mentally ill. We knew it, but we confirm it now.
and monitor my activities, and to prove that I wasn't cheating, I would keep going up on my phone even when I was sleeping! When I look back at this now, this seems unbelievable, even to me. I'm glad, dude, I'm glad. But before, I would just accept this and continue to do it. Yeah, I mean, at this point, this isn't even abuse. It could be considered criminal. One of the worst forms of torture used by intelligence agencies is not letting war criminals sleep, okay? This is criminal. I think now you're starting to understand why people were calling her the Amber Heard of Japan. Bro, he couldn't even sleep. He then continues. Even in the situation where I was told you just married for the money, I would just continue to apologize without knowing much. This really got to a point where she could literally tell him, hey, I didn't sleep well last night. It's your fault. And he'll apologize. No questions asked. It was that bad. I wasn't able to make judgments for myself. I didn't know what the best choice of actions were. And at that point, the only thing that saved me were the words given by all my important friends, which he, of course, ignored initially and isolated himself, but then later realized, wait, maybe what they're saying does make sense. This isn't normal. I came to my senses and realized that all the words and actions I've received from Mikeneko was moral harassment. And it's abuse too. I decided that we couldn't be together
And still, some fans will be like, oh, I wish that could be me.
like this anymore and start to consider filing for divorce. At the start, Mikeneko expressed her strong feelings towards this and stated, I'll reflect on everything that has happened now, I don't want a divorce. So we decided not to file for divorce and tried to find ways to solve the issue so that we could improve our relationship. So he fell for the trap, pretty much. He even bought an entire house for them to live in because he thought that he'd be able to remove any anxious feelings she might have about the relationship.
Wait. So they were married, and when he wanted to divorce, is where he did buy the house, or like this is only saying what he did before?
Because she always thought he was cheating on her. Like,
Oh, okay. Now I understand. So they were married, but because they are online celebrities, each one was living alone. And when he wanted to divorce, and she said no, he did buy a whole house. So they stayed together, and she stayed calm about him not cheating. Oof.
all the time. But by that time, the relationship had taken so much damage that she moved into the house by herself and asked him not to come, and he said, okay.
What a sick fuck.
She was just taking full advantage of this poor guy. And even worse, after this, Mikeneko would start posting cryptic messages that contain negative connotations about Mafu Mafu on social media. Those messages would largely differ from the truth, and this prompted many criticisms from third parties against him. Through his lawyers, he's repeatedly asked her to stop making such statements, but it didn't improve. So picture this, you're with someone, they think you're cheating 24/7. They want you to apologize for the most minor, trivial things. You bought
They buy a house, you move in, you chase him from it, and you ruin his reputation.
a house. She moved in, asked you not to come, and then starts posting shit about you online. It's the most ridiculous situation, dude. Seriously, this is honestly crazy. So still, in hopes of improving the relationship, Mafu Mafu really doesn't give up here. We propose to Mikeneko to at least disclose some of the facts of the situation to put an end to the unceasing slander. So in other words, he wanted to give fans context and let them know about what was going on. But her representatives unanimously opposed this by saying that she's restarting her activities as a new persona, so we're not going to make any compromise about this. We don't want to announce a marriage right before she restarts a new persona. So it took him a while, but at some point he just couldn't bear her contradicting words. So on the end of May 2022, he formally filed for divorce with a lawyer. Thereafter, without being able to tell everyone the truth, we entered into divorce proceedings with lawyers. Now, during the divorce discussions, Mikeneko was delaying them by saying that she had health issues. She was also demanding money and other things. He didn't specify. As these discussions were being delayed, okay, it was revealed that she was having an affair. She was cheating on him. And so because of that, they settled their divorce with nothing being paid out because she was caught completely off guard by this. Now he discovered that she had an affair during their marriage because of some guy called B-san, or Mr. B, that reached out to him, showing him screenshots of what went on between him and Mikeneko. In the screenshots, you could see invitations of dates and exchanging gifts on
That's a good bro move. Like, he saved him.
Valentine's Day. And the craziest, most screwed up thing in all of this is what happened when they got married. When they registered their marriage on Christmas, on December 25th and December 26th, Mikeneko flaked on their plans for Christmas and invited Mr. B to hang out with her at the end of the year. They just got married, like not even a week passes by, and she's already having an affair. And even when they were settling their divorce in the middle of May, she would text Mafu Mafu saying, oh man, I really want to get back together, I really miss you, while inviting Mr. B to share a room with her. Now, Mr. B's apologized
He's using him for money or something.
to him multiple times since then. It seems like he didn't know what the hell was going on, and now they became good friends. Dude, that's insane. Like,
Oh, he became friend with the guy she cheated him with.
he's now good friends with the dude that had an affair with his ex-wife because they both now realize, yo, something's really screwed up in that head of hers. Hey, man, we gotta unite together because this is fucked up. But other than the
That's some good bro moment. That's a very fucked up bro moment.
cheating and the abuse and everything that has happened so far, the divorce was not the final nail in the coffin. Mafu Mafu discovered that the home that he bought for himself and Mikeneko that she lived in without him was littered with cardboard boxes and trash that there was literally nowhere to stand on, taking heavy inspiration from Asmongold and XQC. There was even an urn of ashes belonging to the pet of Mikeneko that
He did burn the pet?
she just left there in the trash. He brought the urn home, and even till now, it's resting in a high spot in his living room. This already says a lot about her as a character. But that was not all. During their
Holy shit, someone lock this girl, please.
divorce settlement, Mikeneko and other parties harassed him on social media and anonymous posting forums. There were a lot of posts saying that he was the perpetrator of domestic violence and that he cheated countless times with multiple
What do you mean? He is like the biggest pussy. What do you mean? Domestic violence.
women, but of course, these were all lies and not true at all. During my hiatus as well, I was harassed repeatedly and I couldn't tell the truth, and I passed each day with misinformation and slander spread about me. He had taken a hiatus during the divorce because he just couldn't handle the stress. And of course,
I mean, yes, it's like... Poor guy.
while suffering in silence, she didn't stop the online harassment. And I'm seeing a trend here. She's kind of like, she loves projecting, right? Like, you're a cheater, she cheated. Perpetrator of domestic violence, she abused the hell out of him mentally. It just seems like everything she does, she just says he's doing it instead. It's insane. That's textbook definition of projection. There are even unconfirmed rumors that she hired people to trash talk him online and...
What a sick person. What a true sick person. What a true VTuber. Raccoon trash. Oh my god.
And honestly, at this point, I wouldn't even be surprised if it's true. So now, Mafu is suing Mikeneko for slander, and the civil trial is ongoing. We still don't know what happened. He recorded a statement
I hope she loses.
for 8 hours with the police, and nothing has advanced so far since then. Now, of course, the tabloid coming out was something that he did not want. He was willing to suffer in silence throughout the whole thing, go through the civil trial all by himself, just to not risk angering his fan base. In the first page, he said, by telling the truth, I might get sued. I might cause trouble to many people. People might never listen to my music again. I'll be hated by everyone, be told we never want to see you again, and I might never be able to perform as Mafu again. This man pretty much posted this statement, genuinely thinking there's a chance he will never be able to be Mafu ever again. That's how crazy idol culture is in Japan in regards to relationships. Now, a few days later, after this bombshell of a statement, Mikeneko comes out with her own reply on, of course, Fanbox. By the way, 48 million views, okay? This is this big. And here's what she has to say in bullet points because holy moly, it's long. I mean, look at this. It's even longer than Mafu, I think. It's crazy. She starts off by apologizing that her private matters became such a huge issue. Hey guys, sorry I have a private life. Sorry it became an issue. She states that she registered her marriage with Mafu in 2021 and divorced in 2022. She apologizes for lying to everyone, but said that because of her work as a streamer, she had to lie due to restrictions. But Mafu stated that he wanted to go public with this after her termination from Hololive and before she joined Vishojo.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a contract stopping her here. It was her decision and her management team's decision. She denies ever cheating with Mr. B. She's reflecting on the fact that the screenshots between them might allude to their affair, but she explains that these messages were just jokes.
Ah, yes, of
Hey,
course.
here's a Valentine's Day gift. Oops, just a joke. Hey, I just got married 5 days ago. Want to meet up for New Year's Eve?
I'm
She then
joking.
goes on to say that she confesses that she suspected and questioned Mafu about his affairs during their wedding. However, she doesn't think she was morally harassing or restricting his actions. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not morally harassing having someone on Discord and Line 24/7, having to reply immediately to messages, and having to wake up from sleep just to check for
She's a big bitch. Like, she is the true toxic person.
messages because if you missed one and didn't
Definition.
reply, she will retaliate against you. Yeah, totally normal. Yeah, absolutely. So this translation right here on GitHub explains this part better. About the divorce negotiations.
How on GitHub? Like, what? Why on GitHub?
He, as in Mafu, claimed in the broadcast that upon divorcing him, I initially requested money. But after my relationship with Mr. B came to light, I stopped requesting money. That is not true. First of all, the reason I was demanding money from him was because of moral harassment and an overly unilateral divorce offer. Regarding this point, I'll refrain from writing about the details here as there is a possibility that problems such as defamation may arise. I did not mention the affair because I received advice from my lawyer to refrain from making any claims as there is no objective evidence and it remains only a suspicion. Yeah, it's suspicion. You know what isn't a suspicion? Your texts with Mr. B.
And Mr. B existence. Like, he is friend now with your ex.
When I consulted my relatives about him, they got angry and published my correspondence with them, which could have violated his rights. So after conferring with my lawyer, we decided to divorce, with no money exchanged on either side. And you know, this could actually be the reason, I don't doubt that. It's just that the affair probably maybe accelerated their decision. Now, here's my favorite part, okay? Here's my favorite part. She denies all the obvious stuff, but she confesses to something that she might have not seen as crazy, but it actually is insane. She confesses that it is true. She was slandering Mafu Mafu on internet forums, which led Mafu to sue her. She explains it was because her contract with her company ended at the same time she had to divorce with Mafu Mafu, so she was in a bad place mentally, which resulted in her posting her feelings on the internet. In her lawyer's opinion, the posts she published were not considered illegal. She admitted that it was her and apologized via her lawyer to him. However, she claims that Mafu Mafu demanded the following conditions for the settlement: suspend all activities on the internet under her streamer's name, not allowed to use social media, 1 million yen in compensation, and there's a fourth reason mentioned in the replies, which is for her to post a statement of her wrongdoings, pretty much telling the world about the marriage, the divorce, and what happened. After she was given these 4 conditions by Mafu Mafu, here's what happened. At the time, my contract with the agency got terminated and I was concerned about my life, so I was unable to accept his proposal. And since we were unable to resolve the matter through the settlement, it ended with a lawsuit getting filed. In the lawsuit, there are many stories not directly related to the posts in question, such as how we met and one-sided false statements from him. Since it contained harsh expressions and that my lawyer also thought that this is going too far, it's tantamount to a personal attack that unnecessarily degrades me through this lawsuit. I filed a countersuit against him and went to the police. A complaint was filed and accepted. She ended her statement by saying this: "We are currently taking both civil and criminal action against him." In addition, his statement in the livestream being so one-sided, and upon consulting my lawyer, although we are truly reluctant of doing so, we have decided to take both civil and criminal action against him as well. Even on my end, I never wanted to get into this kind of conflict with a person to whom I once made a lifelong commitment. I'm fully aware that I'm at fault for the posts I made against him. However, it is really painful to see that in the lawsuit he claims allegations that are not directly related to the post in question. And even though I provided counter-arguments and explanations, he still
She is just salty.
ignores them all. I'm very sorry that I, who am in a position to make you all smile, have disturbed you all with such an unsightly private matter. Please note that this is a solely private matter. I do not wish any slander to be made against him related to this matter, so please refrain from such actions. In addition, there have been many slanderous posts against me that have gone too far following the current dispute. We will continue to take legal action against such posts. I will continue my activities as a streamer, and despite this difficult situation, will do my best to make everyone smile. Just like... This whole thing went from a civil lawsuit to now a criminal
that's crazy
lawsuit. And why is that? Well, because we're in Japan. Japan has a very controversial defamation law. To give you an example, CDogVA, a very beloved content creator in the Japan/anime sphere, was asked his opinion about the Selen Tatsuki Nijisanji situation at one point during a live stream. He said he literally cannot say anything because of this defamation law. He lives in Japan, so the law can apply to him. If you just as much say something bad about a corporation or an individual, you can be sued, even if you're saying the truth.
Yeah, but defamation is like when it's not the truth.
You can leave a 1-star review to a doctor who botched your surgery. He can still sue you and win in court. It's insane. So this lawsuit is going to be really interesting because both of the individuals here made this mistake. They defamed each other. Even though it might have been true in their eyes, it's still really bad in Japan. I think Mafu Mafu tried to cover his ass by not saying her name directly in a statement referring to her as A-san, but it's still very risky. And while Mikeneko clearly hired a lawyer team to write her statement, it's already too late because the posts she admitted to posting that were slandering Mafu Mafu online are enough to sue her for defamation. But that wasn't the end of this, because right after her statement, Mikeneko went live to address the situation once again. In the stream, she apologized a million times and showed things like health records to prove that she was indeed hospitalized during the divorce talks, and does her best to rekindle her bond with her community. That's great and all, really, but why the hell is the first link in your description a butt mouse pad?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Why? Like, okay, you could have copy-pasted it from a previous stream, but at least pay attention to this, dude. Why the hell is that the first thing in an apology stream? It doesn't really help her image. Anyway, it has since been a month and a half, and they're both doing pretty good career-wise. Because guess what? They're now officially single, and their fans can fantasize about being with them again. Mikeneko's company...
So maybe they had more viewers than before because they're like, oh, I will be different than her. And actually, anyone is better than Mikeneko.
And the anime she's voicing stood by her, and Mafu Mafu didn't end up losing his entire music career like he thought he would. But with that being said, This is really all about the lawsuit now. Now yes, Mafu Mafu in this situation does sound more credible, but that doesn't mean he'll win. There will be joker cards in this trial, most notably the infamous defamation law in Japan. So yeah, there's probably gonna be a part 2 to this video sometime in the future. In the end, it's clear they were both very incompatible with many issues, both mental and physical, resulting from this. They were both hospitalized and they both went through a lot.
Yeah, just like... No, I will shut up.
Now look, I'm about to publish this video tomorrow, but I had to add this part in the video last second. Mikeneko has been acting weird. On February 20th, she posted that her mental health was really bad, she can't be consistent, and she asked people to remember her. And according to Fallside, she recently did a Twitter cast, and apparently a big Japanese VTuber with her permission tweeted out that Mikeneko attempted to take her own life and is being hospitalized at the moment. We're still waiting on Mikeneko to tweet on her account so that we can get some form of update on her health.
I feel like she just wanna manipulate people with this.
But that's the situation, literally as of today, okay? Like when the video is published, this is what's happening today. You're getting fresh news at this point. Anyway, back to the normal conclusion that I set out to make for this video.
Oh my god, I'm losing. I will end my life.
As a viewer, this should serve as a warning. If all your friends and acquaintances are warning you about something, you probably should think about it a bit more before committing.
And do remember, guys, never put your D in crazy. Never. If someone is a VTuber, consider it. So wait. Well, that was it for the video. That was very interesting. That was a wild ride. I hope someday someone will lock her up in some mental institute to fix her brain and behavior, because holy shit. Thank you everyone for watching and see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.